everyone, and welcome to the Shuffle Squad YouTube channel. My name is Elena and it's a pleasure to be here with you today. So in today's video what we are going to be looking at, you know that we constantly run the late night series events, which are events for free that you can play currently in PTTEO, but then it will probably be in Pokemon Trading Card Game Live, where you can win amazing prizes, and if you are the best of the bests, then you will get a full paid trip to Japan to play the Pokemon World Championship. Like, how cool is that? I cannot even stress. Anyways, so what we are going to be doing right now is looking at the deck that got first in the European Late Night Series that happened on Tuesday, so 2 days ago from the moment I am recording this video, and understand why it goes so far, talk a little bit about the matchups, and then test it out in the Pokemon TCG ladder in case that some of you, wants to replicate it. Before going into it, I just want to remind you that if you want to get some cards, either physical ones or digitals, you can always check the description down below because we have links to all of our sponsors, and if you use our codes, then you will get them for cheaper. So don't forget to do that to keep supporting the channel. And now, having said that, let's go into the deck profile, which is this one. The deck that won is none other than a Rayquaza Lost Box, so to say, or Lost Box Rayquaza. I don't know what's the right name to name that, but basically it's not something that we have not seen before, because Rayquaza actually is a variant of Lost Box that got very popular during the latest stages of the format because of many reasons. So I'm not going to explain in detail what Lost Box does because I think that everyone is very familiar with it. So we have Comfys that sends cards to the Lost Zone, we have Colress Experiment that it's our main way to send cards to the Lost Zone, and also our main draw supporter, and then after we hit the magic number of 7, Mirage Gate, it's a card that we can use and start powering up a different array of attackers. Now, what are going to be those attackers? Of course, the most important one is probably Rayquaza. It does not mean that you are going to be using it every time, because it's very good. It can reach very high numbers, but only in certain situations. So Rayquaza deals 80 per energy that you discard, per different energy type that you discard from it. So it's the perfect attacker to go against things like Arceus, Duraludon, to go against Goodra, to go against very bulky Pokemon that otherwise cannot be damaged by the low attackers, or the not so strong attackers that you have in the deck. Then another very important attacker that you run here is amazing Raikou, that is able to deal damage both to the active Pokemon and to the bench. And this is especially relevant in a meta game where Lugia is there everywhere and where Lugia is weak to lightning. It is true that you cannot use Raikou if there is a mana fee on the field, but still Raikou is one of the best attackers, especially to put some pressure early game. And talking about Raikou, then we ran the other version of Raikou, which is this amazing Raikou V that I don't remember when it was first printed. Let me check, just out of curiosity. So this has to be Astral Radiance, right? I think this is either Astral Radiance or Brilliant Stars. This Raikou is really good because it's a very cheap attacker, very efficient in terms of the amount of energies that it requires. You can power it up with Raihan, and it can get a KO on basically everything. So it's a great way to answer Stoutland or to attack a Lugia because you are hitting for weakness. The rest of the deck, I think it's pretty straightforward in the sense that, of course, so we ran a couple of Sableyes that once you reach mid to late game it's the one card that is going to be closing out the deal. We of course ran Oranguru to recycle cards, not to recycle, but to save some cards and to get rid of things that we don't want. Radiant Greninja, even if we are not going to be able to attack with it, it's more than okay, because we, in this type of strategies, we want to send our energies to the discard pile and not to the Lost Zone, because then we will be able to recycle them either with Ordinary Road or with Energy Recycle. Raihan, as I mentioned, is also a really nice card to get because it will power up your Raikous or your Radiant Rayquaza and get you the final piece that you are missing, and another Another interesting attacker that you run here for, especially for early game, is Cramorant, that can attack as long as you have 4 cards in the Lost Zone. Now, I feel that this deck, as I was saying, is very strong. I think that it literally has no weakness except for things like very hard Lost Zone counters like Vikavolt or maybe Wizzing, but they are not that very popular right now. I think that it can win against everything. And if we take a look now at the pairings that this player had to go through, we see that it bet so many Lugias. So 1, 2, 3, and then 4, 5, 6 Lugias were beaten by this build. And it's true that the Lugia matchup can go either way depending on the amount of cards that Lugia has, the amount of disruption cards that Lugia plays, and if you're able to set up properly or not. But I think that it's a clear visualization of how powerful Lost Box Rayquaza is, and that this is definitely a really good pick. Against Regigigas, this player also won twice, which is very interesting, and it is a more consistent deck, I think, that Regigigas, and between the damage of the Rykos and then the damage counters that you can spread with Sableye, it's true that if they have wasted the Scoop Up Nets, that's something that you can definitely take benefit of. So yeah, that's basically the list. We are going to try it out, but the main purpose of this video is to talk a little bit about the decks that are doing well in the late night series and to give you a little taste of what the metagame still looks like. I hope that this helps you, and that if you're looking to build a Lost Box deck, this can help you, guide you in the right direction. So having said that, let's try it out, and please let me know in comments what you think about this list and what is your favorite variant of Lost Box. So let's play. Okay, so let's see how Lost Box works. We all know how Lost Box works, but it's just that we are going to see it in more detail. This specific build that won the late night series. And sorry, I'm about to sneeze. Okay, nothing. So I'm going to choose going first. It's a bit cold in here, and the hand is not, it's not bad, I guess, in the sense that at least I can go for a couple of comfies, but I would need at some point to draw something better than that. So let's go for comfy. Those first comfies where you don't know exactly what it's priced and what is not are very scary, but I think that the safest choice here, because I need to draw as many cards as possible, is to do this. So let's prioritize getting another comfy, because even if I wanted to get like Radiant Greninja, and that I don't have the possibility to do so. So let's use Scoop Up Net, play comfy here, another flower selecting. Let's get the energy and then play another comfy and hope for the best. And hope for the best here. Yes, I want to use this other comfy. Thank you very much. And probably the Scoop Up Net, because as I was saying, at this point I really want to rotate between my comfies as much as possible. So I could scoop this one, play the energy. Yeah, that's what I'm going to be doing, I think. So I'm going to play this down, get rid of the energy. Well, I could have used maybe the switching card in case that I drew the Greninja. That might be a small mistake. Yeah. That was a mistake, because I should have definitely used the switching card to use Greninja. So let's see, what do I want to get here? So Oranguru is fine, and then I need to go for Greninja. I feel I need to go for Greninja here. I am going to put back the Mirage Gate, and that's good. So that was a happy draw. And just like that, I was able to go through a bunch of cards. So 4 cards, meaning that Cramorant is already, it's ready to attack. So I'm going to bench it just in case that my opponent decides to Marnie me. And that's it. I'm going to end the turn. I think it's fine. I don't know what we are going against. This might be Lugia. And Lugia, you will know that it is a very tricky matchup. I need to try to set up, what is it called? I need to try to set up a Manaphy as soon as possible. Gift energy and nothing else. So does that mean that we have already won the game? Okay, so let's see if my opponent is able to get at least one Lugia on the field. Some of the other cards must be very, very, very good because they hadn't discarded with Serena. But it seems that no, they don't. They just... Did they just open with Unspars? Yeah, they just opened with Unspars. Okay, whatever. So this didn't count. This, of course, didn't count. Maybe if I had been in their situation, I might have wanted to discard basically everything. So maybe not even attaching the energy, just in hopes to get the captured energy. But anyways, so second game, because of course the first one didn't count, as I was saying, and in this case I'm going second. So let's see. Please don't be whizzing. I don't want this to be whizzing. Even if this is whizzing, well, I don't think, if this is a lone whizzing, I don't think that we can win, but at least Battle VIP Pass gets us some interesting options to set up. So this is Zoroark. Okay, we should have a very decent matchup against Zoroark, especially because of the key for this matchup is called Sableye. The key for this matchup is called Sableye. Manaphy is not really that relevant, but now we are going to use Battle VIP Pass and try to set up maybe Greninja and another Comfy. Not sure if we're going to get the first turn KO, which would be ideal, especially because most of the cards that I have in my hand are not that good, and this is probably hinting the fact that this is what is it called, Arcanine deck. So what I want to do here is, okay, so no Greninja. Okay, fine, so no Greninja at all. So we are going to, okay, third game then, I guess. Well, these things happen. So let's click and let's go for another game. I cannot control sometimes what happens in the ladder. So let's see how Lost Box works now. The coin flip is going to determine if we should go more aggressive and try to get a turn 1 attack or not. My opponent is calling the coin flip, taking some time here, and I want the coin flip, and yes, I want to go first without having information about what my opponent is playing. I think that I always need to go first, and look at that. Whoa. So I think I want to use Oranguru here because I have the escape rope, but that is not exactly the hand that I would love to see. That is definitely something that needs to change if I want to keep playing this game. But definitely a very, very slow start from my side. Maybe I can use Oranguru, of course, and see what I draw out of that. So Oranguru, I don't want Sableye right now. It's going to go back on the top, and that's basically it. So I will pass the turn. Okay, that was a bit unfortunate. That was actually very unfortunate. I basically didn't draw anything that I could use, did I? So this is Giratina, which should not be a bad matchup, but it's just that nothing, I could do anything. So Giratina, Abyss seeking to get some cards to the Lost Zone, and now we know, of course, that we are going to get the Sableye, and let's rely on Oranguru here to do something. So Oranguru, can you please help me? Can you please help me? Okay, so another chance. So I'm going to play this here because I don't want Oranguru to die. That's my only way for me to do something. That's the only way in which I can start maybe doing something, and I guess that I will just attach one energy to Rayquaza and see what happens. My opponent also seems to be bricked a little bit, so let's cross our fingers. I'm going to attach one energy here because why not, and end the turn. Not even one single card has been sent to the Lost Zone yet from my side. So Colress's experiment from my opponent, and I don't know how long this is going to be. This will last, considering that I have bricked very hard, and I mean, like, no, I mean, not even the scoop up net would have helped me in this situation. So flower picking my opponent, if they wanted, could already attack me with a Cramorant, and I need to draw something out of the Oranguru. So that's the top deck that I really, really, really need to have right now. Yeah. So another Comfy, they are already rotating. I think that Mirage Gate is live for them. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. It will be live now. So Greninja gets used, draws a couple of cards. So many cards in hand. So many cards in hand from my opponent. As I was saying, since I'm not running any 2 pricers, this should be a kind of an easy, not easy, but a favorable matchup for me. But I don't think that this is going to look like that. So Cramorant will attack. It won't get the KO on Rayquaza, unless they play Zigzagoon, of course. So that gives us one more turn to do something. And that something needs to happen now. So, can I please, please, please get something? Nope, I didn't. So I think that I'm going to concede the game because I don't know. Well, maybe there is one more chance. So maybe, just maybe, you know, I will wait for a little bit longer. Just let's see the next top deck. But I had been completely unable to draw anything. And my opponent has already set up. I had a really, really, really slow start. And my opponent can now even use Sableye if they want it. So, yeah. Things like that happen. So for the first 2 games, I was able to attack and to get everything. So I was able to set up properly and my opponents didn't. And now, like, why would you power up? Well, okay, because you're going to attack with Radiant Greninja. Maybe, yeah, I should have not benched. Maybe I should have not benched Sableye, but it didn't really matter that much at this point. So if next turn I don't draw a Colress Experiment or something of the likes, I'm just going to concede the game and call it a day. But that's what happens when you can just not play the deck. Anyways, so Ultra Ball gets played. We are going to be seeing what? So Sableye, oops. Okay, so Sableye can definitely seal the game, and I think that at this point I'm very, very, very behind, because if they target Oranguru, then there's nothing else that I can draw. So I'm just going to concede the game. Anyways, I know that the purpose was kind of to, I'm really not in the center position. Well, I know that the purpose was to kind of to try to explain the deck, but we have also done that during the analysis, and maybe that was not like the greatest play, the greatest game ever, but I think that my analysis still stands. I think that this is a very powerful deck. It's true that maybe with Aluminium, the access that you have for Colress Experiment is more limited, but it has a lot of options. I very much think that Rayquaza with Lost Box is one of the best decks right now in the format, if you don't consider that there is no better deck than Lugia in a vacuum, talking in a vacuum, because Lugia has basically no counters and basically no checks. But if you like Lost Zone, if you like this mechanic, and of course if you don't break, like myself, I still think that this is one of the best options that you have out there. So go ahead, try it out, and I just wanted to remind you that if you enjoyed this video and the late night series and all of that, that you can go ahead, leave a like, subscribe to the Shuffle Squad YouTube channel, to be notified when we upload more content. So having said that, thank you so much, and we will see each other very soon. So bye bye.
The Shuffle Squad is proudly sponsored by Atlas Collectibles, the best place to buy any trading card game product online. Visit atlastcg.com, and at the checkout screen, make sure to use code TSS12 to save an unbeatable 12% off your entire order. Atlas Collectibles will ship your product anywhere in the world, so make sure you're taking advantage of the 12% savings with TSS12. And if Pokemon is not your thing, don't worry. Go to atlastcg.com and see all the other amazing trading card game products they have there to offer.
The Shuffle Squad is partnered with PTCGO Store to provide our community with the best access to Pokemon TCG codes. They have codes available 24/7, instant email delivery, and you can save 5% off by using code TSS5. If you're a YouTube member or Patreon supporter, you'll have access to a special code that gets you 10% off. So what are you waiting for? Use code TSS5 today and save 5% on your next order of codes on any codes available at ptcgostore.com.
Pokex Word, the best place to get your fill of Pokemon-inspired puzzles. New puzzles are posted every day, and they recently launched a new Guess That Pokemon puzzle, which is a ton of fun to play. Go check them out at pokexword.com and be sure to follow them on Twitter for your chance to win a ton of PTCGO codes every month.
Check out the Late Night Series Season 6, brought to you by myself, Zach Lesage, and the Shuffle Squad. We're going to be running a bunch of sick events for the Pokemon community, and they start on August 30th. So one thing you might be noticing here is that there's an EU time and an NA time. We have one at 12 p.m. Eastern, which works out to about 5 p.m. in London, and then we have one at 7 p.m. Eastern, which should help out a lot of players on the West Coast play in this event. That being said, we still have a lot of cool things going on. Expect similar prizing that we've had for other Late Night Series events. Expect better staffing, expect better tournament experiences, and of course, we do have a stream going up for this season as well, and I will be streaming the event on Twitch. That being said, we have the whole season up on the Play Limitless website. Late Night 51 all the way through 70 runs until we hit the Invitational on November 5th. So check that out, sign up today, and support Zach Lesage Events and the Shuffle Squad. See you there.